my name is Teresa Quant, and today I want to share with you 5 quick tips on getting started with Canva as a teacher. The first tip is important, so listen up. If you are a teacher, you can get access to Canva for Education 100% completely free. You will have access to all the pro elements. I currently use Canva Pro because I use Canva commercially. But everything I am showing you, you'll be able to use as a teacher because you will have access to it for free to use for your personal classroom use. So you can go here to canva.com/education if you don't have a teacher Canva education account already, and you can get verified as a teacher, or your school can get verified and get it for you. You can also get Canva education for your students for free. So just keep that in mind. It's very easy to get verified if you are currently working as a teacher in the classroom. Make sure to sign up. It is phenomenal. It is one of the best tools I've ever seen teachers have access to for free. That is my first tip. My next tip for teachers is using the templates inside of Canva and editing them to fit your needs. So when you come to Canva, you'll have different sections on the dashboard like your designs here, templates, Canva AI. If you select templates, you can search for literally anything. So I could search for math multiplication worksheets, and I will have tons and tons of different worksheets that come up. What's great about Canva is you can edit every single piece. So even if you find something you want to use, you might decide you need to edit it for different needs of different students. So these are just the worksheet type templates for multiplication. But I could find templates for any different types of designs that are created inside of Canva. So if I were to click the create button, here are different types of designs that you can find within Canva. So you can create emails, presentations, which would be like a PowerPoint or Google Slides presentation, just Canva's version. We've got social media, photo editors, videos, documents, whiteboards, sheets. We're not going to go into all the different types of designs today you can create, but you're going to find templates in all of those different categories. As we're just starting out, if you're a new user to Canva, let's just look at some of these worksheets. So to show you how you can edit specific templates to meet your needs, I'm just going to go ahead and choose one of these worksheets really quick. Let's just do the let's multiply one. I'll choose customize. I can customize every single piece of this. So maybe this will work for some of my learners, but some of my students might not be doing 2-digit multiplication at the moment. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this page, and I'm just going to change these out a little bit. Maybe I have some students that are just doing simple multiplication facts. So I can go in here and I can edit it however I want. I can also make it printer friendly, and I can change the background here and change the border colors so that it is a little easier on the ink, right? So there we go. So now I can change the problems to meet different needs of students, and I can make black and white versions. With templates in Canva, a lot of times these are to be used as a springboard for the teacher. You may be able to use it as is, but it is a great starting point for you to edit it as needed to fit the needs of your own classroom. And like I said, you won't just find templates for worksheets. You'll find templates for any type of design you can create in Canva. So if I wanted to, I could also find templates for presentations. So we'll come back here to our dashboard, and I'm going to click create here, and I'm going to try presentations. And I'm going to just start with a blank one. And instead of starting from a complete blank canvas, I can also search for templates within this design. So this design is a presentation. I'm going to come over here to where it says design, and I can look for a specific template. I might say I want some class agenda slides. And it will give me lots of different options here of class agenda slides I can choose from. Once I find one I like, I just apply those pages. Now I can edit and add as many slides as I want to this presentation. But it's just a great starting point so you don't have to start from scratch. I love using templates. So, as a teacher, if you are new to Canva, make sure to check out templates. Since we're already in a presentation, this brings me to tip number 3, which is using a timer inside of presentations. Canva has a built in timer with their presentations. So once you have your slides all set up the way that you want, you're going to go ahead and click present. And then in the bottom right hand corner, these three little dots, you click on that and it says show timer. And now you can go ahead and add minutes, subtract minutes, whatever you want, start the timer, and it will do a fun countdown timer for your students. It's already built into Canva's presentation program. One of my favorite features. I absolutely love it. And you can restart the timer just by hitting the little restart arrow button. Another fun tip, if the timer's already up, you can click any number on your keyboard. Like if I click number 8 here, 8 minutes now shows up, or we just want a quick 1 minute timer. So I'll just click the 1 on my keyboard. Tip number 4 for teachers when getting started with Canva is to create different folders for the projects, worksheets, presentations that you create. Now, this is how you would create folders. In Canva, they are called projects. So on the left hand side of your toolbar, you'll see projects here. My folders may look different than yours, but as a teacher, the first step I would do is create a folder that says school, and all your school material will go in there. Or you could say something like Mrs. Quant's classroom, whatever you want to say, but name a folder that is going to be like your hub of all of your lessons, presentations, everything like that. So you'll click on projects and you can right click and you will add a new folder. Title it whatever you want. Like I said, I just titled mine school. Now I made it a little star on it so it's easy to find. To put a star on a folder, you'll just hover over a folder and click the star button. Now, once you're inside the school folder, make different folders for different subjects or different class periods, depending on how your teaching situation looks. You would right click, create a folder. So let's go ahead and create a history folder. I'm doing it by subjects, but if you are a middle school or high school teacher, maybe it's going to be different periods, whatever you want. Then, once you have the different folders created, for example, math, you can either, whatever makes more sense, separate different folders by like theme or by month or by subject. So I've got numbers and operations, geometry, measurement, fractions, operations, and algebraic thinking. And I have the different items that I would want to put in there. Now, right now, you might not have a lot of items in your folders because you might just be brand new to Canva, but this is how you would sort them. So you'd come back to your home dashboard. And one thing about Canva is the dashboard can look very messy, but your folders and projects are going to help you make it organized. So, for example, let's say we want to use this multiplication worksheet. I'm going to go ahead and click on this, and I'm going to choose folder. Where do I want to move it to? I can either type school here. I made my school hub folder, and then it will open up and give me all the folders within that. So I have math, and I can go ahead and just move it to that math folder. And then if I want, when I come back to projects and then to math, here it is. And I can click and drag where it makes the most sense, right? So maybe it's going to go into numbers and operations. So I'll put it inside that folder. Now, I love that you can have folders within folders. It makes keeping your items clutter-free and organized. What's great is you go throughout the year and you create these folders. By the time you hit your second year using Canva, you'll have all your material all organized, ready to go, and you might just be adding new things occasionally. So that first year, organizing is probably going to take the most time, but it is 100% worth it to get folders set up so that you can stay organized and ready to go inside of Canva. My final tip, if you are just getting started with Canva as a teacher and you need to learn the very basics, is to open up a worksheet and play around with the element tabs on the left hand side of the worksheet. Canva can be very overwhelming if you've never used it before. And so it's best to take it little steps at a time and just get used to how to do certain pieces of Canva before moving on and learning your next step. So to open up a worksheet, you're going to click the create button and then go ahead and type worksheet and choose the size that you want. Now, here on the left-hand side, we've got a toolbar here of elements, text box, uploads, tools, projects, apps. There's so much going on. But let's just focus, if we're just starting out, on the elements tab and the text box. So the elements tab is where you can find different shapes, different clip art, things like that to add to your worksheet if you're going to create it completely by yourself. Now remember, the design tab here will always give you the pre-made templates that are already made for you. But if you want to create by yourself, you'll click elements here and you can look for different shape elements, different graphics, all sorts of graphics. So I could search for school supplies and I could find different school supply images I would want to use inside of my worksheet, whatever that is. So the elements, the graphics are going to be the little pieces of clip art. Stickers are usually going to be moving objects, so I would use those mainly in presentations, not on a worksheet. You've got photos if you want to have photos on a worksheet or presentation, video, audio. Again, audio is going to be great for a presentation, not so much a worksheet. Charts, forms, we'll go into forms in another video. Those are really cool. Again, that would be a presentation. But you can see there are lots of different elements to use. For a worksheet, you're mainly going to be doing shapes and graphics. Then we have a text box here where I can add a text box. And you can choose whatever font you want. Don't get too hung up on the type of font to choose for a worksheet. If you're making a worksheet for a student, you want it to be something simple and easy to read. So I'd probably just use Canva Sans. Or another good one is KG Primary Penmanship. That's another easy, clean, easy for students to read font. But you can see there are just hundreds and hundreds, maybe even thousands of fonts within Canva to choose from. Now, once you have your elements and your fonts, your options are endless for creating a worksheet. However, this video is just 5 tips for getting started. So we'll have to talk more about creating a worksheet or creating presentations in a later video. What I want you to do today is, if you're brand new to Canva, play around with the worksheet with the elements and the text box and just get used to how those elements work. Go ahead and play with the designs and edit something that's already been made. Make your life a little easier and don't start from scratch, right? Let's just use this addition and subtraction worksheet that's already here. Or maybe this, let's see, meeting arithmetic or mental arithmetic here that we can use. It's already made. I don't have to start from scratch. But if you'd like to, again, go ahead, use the elements and the text boxes and start creating. Creating is my favorite part about Canva, and I'm happy you're here on this journey. I am going to show you all the ropes on how to use it step by step, so stay tuned. Make sure to also follow me on Instagram and TikTok for other fun videos on how to use Canva in the classroom as a teacher and with your students.